We're off, guys.
So Whippy, reflection on today, a gutsy 2-0 win. Are you happy with that?
To be honest, I weren't really happy in changing rooms after. I think mentality of going into a game like that today, I think we went 1-0 up, thought it was going to be easy and didn't do his jobs as well as what I thought we could have done. But 3 points is 3 points, so to be fair, Shirebrook drawing, Nez were obviously losing. It helps us close that. It helps us close that pipe a bit more again and claw a few more points back. Again, a good draw against Glasshoughton midweek, but if we turn that into a win, we're suddenly right in mix. So hopefully, results against Dronfield go in our favour when we play them next week. A bit of a break from it. Wick Cup coming up, the Sheffield Hampshire Cup. So I think if we concentrate on his league form, we should be able to climb that table a bit more.
I'm talking about the Sheffield and Hallam Senior Cup. Will it be a new team on Tuesday, or will it still be the starting 11? Are you going to bring new faces in, or stick with the old faces, as it were?
I think there's a few lads that are needing minutes. Your Aussies. Westy coming back in as a sub today, done brilliant in the last few games. These lads Stater needing minutes because he's missed the last two. It's a chance to freshen up, but it's also a chance to sort of keep the core outside playing, because winning breeds confidence, and confidence goes on and wins football games. So we'll keep a core of that, but just freshen it up with lads that are needing minutes.
Moving on to James Reid, Hallam captain. So James, you started your footballing career as a youngster at Boston. Can you tell us how that originated and what experience you gained from that?
Well, I started when playing locally with Sunday League until I was about 6 years old, and then Centre of Excellence started when Boston got into the Football League. Didn't know much about it, to be honest. I was shy as a really young lad. I really didn't want to go and do anything like that. I'm a bit different now. I just can't get trials now. But no, at the time, I went to the trials, did alright, and stayed there from being a 7-year-old to being a 19-year-old until I come to university.
And moving on to that, after 11 years at Boston, you moved to the city of Sheffield, great place to live, and claimed a place at Sheffield University.
That's the one, yeah.
That must have been quite a defining point of your life. So how did you adapt to life away from Lincolnshire, and did you have the good things in life here, i.e. the egg in your beer, as it were, to a point, i.e. family support or friends?
Yeah, I think to be fair, I was always going to be somebody that would, although you do miss your family, you miss your friends, I was somebody that was always going to come and sort of enjoy it and what was coming with it, to be honest, because I got to the point where I wouldn't have done something or that I wasn't comfortable with, and moving away from home, made loads of friends, did exactly what I wanted to do during my 3 years. I had all the support I needed, and I'm thankful for that. And this club played a big part in that as well on Saturdays, because it would have been easy for me to fall away on Friday nights and all the rest of it. Don't get me wrong, I've had a couple of Friday nights, not too many.
Of course.
Could easily fall into that, but this club kept me, not straight and narrow, is a bit too much of an overstatement, but made my weekends really.
And you were on the books at Hallam in November 2014, hence being one of Ryan Inley's first signings. Describe the feeling on getting that break at the Countryman and the transition from playing in the youth setup at Boston to playing here in the NCEL.
I didn't know a lot about the club coming into play for them. I'd spoke to Ryan a couple of times, and I knew Steve, knew the chairman, so they both said come and give it a go, because what's the worst that can happen. It didn't take a lot of convincing, to be honest. It wasn't difficult to get me here, and then to be honest, I played that level before. I played men's football back home, so it wasn't a massive culture shock like you would get from some of the lads that come released at 18 and struggle, because I played men's football, and the difference is massive from playing youth football to men's football. So it wasn't a massive shock, but I think at the time we had a really good set of lads together, and I think we actually did really well from the position we were in. We were bottom of the league and ended up finishing at 13th, 14th, took some big scalps during that back end of the season.
And further on from that, you were made club captain. Did that alter your style of play as a footballer generally?
I don't think so. I think as a captain, I'm not somebody, still relatively young, I'm not somebody who's going to be shouting 90 minutes throughout a game. That's not how I'm going to lead as a captain. Try and do it as best I can through performance and working hard. So no, I don't think it's changed me. I don't think probably Steve or Scott or anybody would have wanted to have changed, because there's nothing really that apart from talking a little bit more that you can do really.
Yeah. And of course you're not only club skipper but also leading all-time scorer here for Hallam. So an abundance of goals in the locker room to talk about post-match. Which strikes etched long in the memory and your reasons for that?
Probably run corner away in the Vars. That was good. So we were up against it. Yeah, it's a good goal. And at the end of the day, it's one that I look back on and remember after the game, down to 10 men after about 10 minutes, and I think that's probably my favourite moment in an Hallam shirt.
Made bus home very good, did it?
Bus was like a nightclub on the way.
And in your 3 years here at Hallam, you'll have played alongside a wide range of personalities and characters. Again, which players stick in the mind and why?
God, we've had some characters, that's an understatement I think. We've had some very, very good players as well. I think probably if I'm picking players that can do things that can turn games and win games, I'm thinking Jake Curry and Mikey Blythen, but definitely very, very good players. Character-wise, we've had a few. They still keep coming, but people like your Danny Majors and Matty Parks, people like that, big characters in the dressing room, proper men. So yeah, they'll always stick in my mind.
And is there any sort of busy mates you've made here who go out for a curry with on a Saturday night, a few beers?
Yeah, I think a lot of the lads that I was close with last year, or the last couple of years, have moved on, gone to different places. I'm still in touch with them, speak to them nearly every day, but I think with the people moving in and changes and new faces, I think Ryan Lee, who's just had a bit of a break, good pals with Ryan now, and Fuki as well, so good lads.
Yeah. As we know, there was a managerial personnel change in the summer with Stephen Scott replacing Ryan at the helm. How does the now joint manager Whipper differ from the assistant manager Whipper, and how's life under the Bates Whitehead regime?
I think with it, it's a different dynamic, because we'd always had one gaffer in charge who, obviously, you'll know more, you've had your chats with Ryan, how do you win or lose it, I don't know with Ryan, but I think now it's working well. I think at the start, as it was with us with players, there's a lot of new faces. It's different because none of the three had actually managed, I don't think, had you? You'd been assistant, so...
I'd had a little bit of a go-ish eye, but that's about it. I've been assistant.
Well, I think it's working well. I think there's three different personalities in there, and I think at the end, I don't see the phone calls on a Thursday or a Friday. I shouldn't think that at times in the last 4 or 5 weeks anyway, there's been many disagreements about the side you're picking or how we're going to go about things, because I think we've over the last few weeks had our best sides to pick from, bar a couple where we've had people missing or suspended. I think we've had our best sides, and we've been picking up results, so I think that makes your jobs a little bit easier as managers. But no, I'm enjoying things, because I said it all along, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here. So.
And you've become a fan's favourite at Sandygate and a great servant to the club. However, is there a dream club you aspire to play for?
Well, I don't know.
Don't say if you don't want to.
No, I think my days of playing for my dream club are probably over, to be honest. But I'm a Man United fan.
Okay.
So,
and realistically, James, where would you like to see Hallam come the 22nd of April, of course, our last match of the domestic season, and what are your long-term goals, excuse the pun, and objectives?
I think, realistically, with the players we've got, and we've got players coming back over the last couple of weeks, got Matty Orr back in chaps. I think we've made some good additions in areas we've needed to. I'd be disappointed to see us outside of the top 6, to be honest, and that's taking into consideration how good I think we are and the standard of the league. I think that's where we should be.
And bringing Steve back in, you mentioned Matty Ord there. It has been quite a productive week at Hallam with the return of Matty Ord from his spell at Brighouse Town. How instrumental is Matty to the midfield, and how integral is he to feeding players like Dunstate and Wood up front in match play and helping propel Hallam towards the playoffs that you just mentioned and maybe better?
Matty, a frustrating winger at times, can be brilliant, win your games, can be a winger and frustrate the life out of managers, which, like today, he's got himself in areas and not delivered balls into the box what people were able to get on the end of. I think we'll settle Matty back in. It's been 2 games. People like James, who's been at club and played with him before, know what Matty can do. We sort of have to bear with him. His natural pace, we sort of him and Dunne up top should cause a lot of defences, a lot of problems over the next couple of weeks and during the rest of the season. So we'll use Matty
as a playmaker.
Playmaker. He's dynamic and he's fast. He's quick, one-on-one.
Yeah.
He helps you get up the pitch. We'll use Matty as we see fit in the next, in the running for the season.
And after today, they are 15 points up for grabs in November. What is your target points all-wise for the month, given that we have difficult away games at Emley and Eccleshill to negotiate?
I think, like I've said before, we don't go to anywhere thinking, well, we'll take a point here, we'll take a point there. We'll go in to win every game that we put a team out in. But realistically, out of the 15 games, not out of the points, the games that we've got in November, I reckon we go to Emley and get something. We look after his own form and win the games at home, which we've been doing, and we'll see where it takes us.
And you mentioned the home form there, that's 6 consecutive home wins now in the league. How important is that towards our push for the playoffs?
It's integral. I mean, a good home form and then picking up wins away from home and the odd draw away from home, it'll propel you up league and get us to where we want to be. Like James said, 6 is a minimum for yourself. Automatic, like I said last time, might be a little bit too out of our grasp, but home form's really important.
And finally, 2 consecutive two draws in Hallam's last 2 away matches, Knaresborough and Glasshoughton. Was the feeling after that 2 points gained or 4 dropped, despite an heroic stalemate at Mansfield, just how far Hallam have really come in this last 3 months?
Disappointing not to take all 3 at Knaresborough.
Yeah, you were saying, yeah.
After I thought we played really well. Glasshoughton, a different game. A great point after going 2-0 down in the second half to 10 men, which can be difficult to play again, to get back to 2-2, and then again probably should have gone on and won it, but 2 draws that could have gone differently.
Yeah. Well, James, thank you for your time. Steve, thank you for your time, and well done on today's victory.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.